A key element of any event's sustainable journey is the catering. Not only that, but it's also important to have a very sustainable supply chain. And I'm talking to Thomas Jelley from Sodexho, a company that covers both bases. Thomas Jelley, you're from Sodexho, and you've been one of the panellists at this year's Global Sustainable Events Summit. What were you talking about?
Well, Ian, we had a really interesting conversation. I was there representing Sodexho Prestige, and my other panelists were from BP and Siemens. And really, we were talking about brands and sustainability, brands and events. Obviously, this is a hospitality and events conference, and we were talking about the power of brands and the messages, their ability to influence clients and customers, but also the role of partnerships and the supply chain, and how all of them have to work together to make events sustainable and a success, and quite significantly sometimes also a learning experience for the participants.
And how did it go down? Did you get a lot of delegate interaction? What was the general feeling on the ground?
Well, there were quite a few really good questions. There were questions around the challenges, whether it's coming from the supply chain, whether it's coming from clients, whether it's a push, whether it's a pull. There was also an interesting question about standards and the law. Are we being pushed into this, or is this something that comes from a company's values? And all the panelists agreed, as you'd expect. Siemens having built this building, BP with its commitment and focus on energy, Sodexho with its commitment to sustainability and the Better Tomorrow plan. We all agreed that actually, yes, it is coming from our organisations because of their values, but of course, having an audience helps to amplify the message.
Now, with respect to Sodexho, very much involved in the hospitality side, a great focus on catering. How is sustainability important to your organisation specifically?
Well, at Sodexho, sustainability hits everything we do. In the UK and Ireland, we're about 50% food service, but 50% facilities management. So whether you're buying food or the disposables to serve it to people at an event, whether you're buying cleaning chemicals, whether you're managing a building management system, sustainability comes in all shapes and forms. From the people, the way you treat them, the way you train them, where you recruit them from, to the food, to the kit, to the sometimes really quite heavy engineering material. So it covers everything we do.
As you say, with so many aspects to the business, and also particularly on the food side, people might think that implementing sustainable practices and social friendly practices on that side could be very expensive. What's your experience been?
Expense is an interesting concept. It's always the cost is always there. It's just a matter of who pick up the tabs. When you run with some of the well-known marks in food, for example, the Marine Stewardship Council certification or Fair Trade or RSPCA Freedom Foods, you're making sure that the cost is borne by the right people in the right way. And they serve as marks of confidence, if you like, shorthand for supply chain sustainability.
Okay, so obviously you get clients who are now demanding this kind of a service.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's this huge interest. People expect to see it. Our clients know that their customers want to see it, and it's a must to be credible. Events are very often one-off events in the annual calendar, but many of them have been around for decades, if not centuries. Some of our clients, for example, Royal Ascot, this is year 302, I think it is. Others slightly newer. It's important that the customer has an experience that is entertaining, that is sporting, but also that the event reflects their values. And so Sodexho Prestige is meant to be and has to be a partner that reflects those values.
And of course, as well as working directly with corporates, you also will do a lot of work with event organisers. And they're increasingly looking for sustainable suppliers, aren't they?
Of course, absolutely. It's no good sitting your stall out and saying, I'm going to be green, I'm going to be sustainable, I have values if the rest of your supply chain doesn't. It's a conversation. No one person can deliver the whole lot on their own, so it's very much a dialogue and a partnership.
Thomas, that's great. Thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome.